What up, gang? This particular video is for James out of Boulder, Colorado. And he messaged me on Instagram and asked me if I could do a really quick comparison between my Ducati Panigale V2 and my Yamaha R1M, because he is torn between these two particular bike models, mainly because they are the same price. So you're going to spend anywhere from $24,000 to $26,000 for the Yamaha R1M, depending where you're at. And this, with taxes and all the Rizoma crap and everything that you're going to buy, it's going to run you right about $25K. So they're in the same ballpark, price range wise. And he wanted me to kind of just talk a little bit about it. Well, James, I'm going to tell you, these are two very, very different bikes, my friend. Obviously, you got the Italian bike versus the Japanese bike. You have two very, very different engines. You have an inline four, obviously, with this particular engine from Yamaha, which is a very, very good engine. But you also have a V2 or V-twin in this bike. So they sound different, they produce power differently, and at the same time too, they just perform differently when it comes to kind of getting on it. What do I mean by that? Well, I can tell you this. The Yamaha R1M is probably one of the fastest bikes that I have ever ridden. It just gets up and runs. There is no hesitation in its game. And one thing that I've learned about the V2, at least for the Panigale, when you get up on this thing here, it's a very torquey bike. So it takes a little bit for it to kind of get to where it needs to be. But when it gets up above that 10,000 RPM range, which I've been testing it, even though the bike is still being broken in, the bike comes alive after 10,000 RPM. And it's something that I've noticed, to call that, where I can immediately punch the gas on this one here, throttle wise, quarter turn, and this bike is gone. It's over 120 miles an hour. This one here, to get to 110 miles per hour, I'm pretty much half wrist on it. Keep in mind, this bike is not flashed yet. I have a Bren tune coming for it. This bike has been flashed by KWS out there in Charleston. So the bike obviously performs really well because it has been flashed, and it's just a freaking fast bike. So again, horsepower wise, I mean, you're talking 200 horsepower for this particular bike, plus or minus. And you're talking roughly about 160 miles or 160 horse on this one here. After the tune, I don't know what that's going to be. We'll see when we dyno it. But one thing that I think is going to be probably a major factor is really what you're going for looks wise. Performance wise, this bike is obviously going to be faster, and you know that. We've already talked about that. But what the Ducati brings to the table is obviously its Italian heritage, and it's really, really good looks. It's a very handsome bike. I've only had this bike literally for a couple of days, and every time that I pull up to a stoplight or even at the gas station, I've had people come up to me just to take a look at it going, golly, that bike is just sharp. Don't get me wrong. I do the same thing with this bike. Whenever I go to the gas station, people always come up to the bike. Or if I'm at a stoplight going, dude, what is that? They don't really know what it is. But the R1M definitely gets attention. So from an attention standpoint, both bikes really, really lay it down thick. Let's talk about handling, okay? I'm gonna tell you something I love about the Panigale V2. It reminds me a lot of my R6. It's just a really flickable bike. It's thin, it's balanced, it handles really well at high speed. The Ohlins suspension on this Bayliss, remember the Bayliss is a lot more expensive than the regular standard V2. It's actually about $5,000 more than a regular one, mainly because of all of that gold you guys see there. It's all Ohlins. So you have your Ohlins suspension, which you can see here, and you have your dampener, which you can see right there. Electronics on the Ducati, you guys cannot shake a stick at it. It's got great electronics, full control of everything that you basically would want on a bike. I have not messed with any of the stock settings, guys. I just have it in sport right now as I'm breaking it in because it has under 600 miles. But I've got about 225 miles on the bike already in just the past couple of days because I've been riding it, trying to get it broken in, getting it ready for the Bren tune, and zero complaints. Obviously, you're gonna get bug ears for this one here, James. I had those changed out to Rizomas. And the only other thing that I added here was a new Rage tail tidy on the back end there. I took out the big honking fender delete or fender on the back end and just deleted it. And obviously the rear pegs came off as well. So, but the R1M, like I said, this one here has had some engine work done to it. I did change the exhaust on this one with the Yoshimura Alpha on here. There is a tail tidy on this particular bike. I did add protection. I do have obviously my tank pads and everything coming for the Ducati from Stomp Grip. They're making them for me, and I should have them here hopefully next week. But I love my R1M. This is a hard one, James. I mean, if you're just talking about, you know, price point and everything too, I don't think you can go wrong with the Ducati Panigale V2. I will share something with you too. You can also get a Panigale V4, just a regular one, not an S, not an R, for right about 25K too. So you need to be looking at that, my friend. This obviously is expensive because it's a Bayliss edition, but the Panigale V4, you guys know the story behind that bike. It's just a freaking amazing bike. And on top of that too, if you guys watch MotoGP or any of the SBK stuff, we literally, I mean, Ducati's just in the front all the time. And the Yamahas are struggling currently right now. And Controllada is actually, I think, anticipating a move because he can't stand the bike. But for street riding and for what we do out here, just to get around, I mean, I know you don't have you've got 4 seasons out there in Colorado, and you have a lot of twisties. This bike is fun in the twisties, fun in the canyon type stuff. Same with this bike here. So again, James, I don't know if I've helped you or just confused you even more, but for price point wise, if I had to choose between the Ducati Panigale V2 or the Yamaha R1M, this may ruffle a few feathers, but I'm going with the Yamaha R1M. And the reason why is because it's just a lot of bike for the price point. Not to mention the carbon, you still have the Ohlins suspension. I would put my money on this one. If you're looking for just a bike that you can kind of get around town, and I mean, it's actually a really nice riding bike. This one's just one of those, like, it's a flickable bike. So if you're looking for more of a flickable type bike, fun on the track type of thing, this one's gonna be probably a good choice here. If you're looking for just raw power and a lot of carbon, this one's gonna be the bike for you. But you really can't go wrong. The paint job on this one here, and please guys, pardon my painter's tape on there. I'm just waiting for the stomp grips to get here so I don't scratch my tank up and everything with my belt buckle as I break it in. You're gonna get some pretty nice features on this bike, obviously. You got the suede 21 on that one there. This is a numbered bike, just like the R1M. And you got the number right there, 2821. The numbered bike here for this one is underneath my little thing here. It's a 1930 is the R1M's numbered series there. But all in all, my friend, again, if I was to go ahead and spend the money, and if I really wanted a super fast bike, you really can't go wrong with an R1. The R1M, especially because of everything that it comes with. Just so you know, these will be replaced shortly here with Rizomas as well. I'm just waiting for it. They were out of stock for some strange reason for the R1s, and I've been waiting for them for the past 3 weeks. I don't know if they're just making them or what. But yeah, James, hopefully this video has helped you a little bit. Guys, anybody that has questions about these bikes, feel free to comment below. I will be making a series of other comparisons with this particular V2 and the ZX10 that I have, and also the traditional R1. So stay tuned for those videos. But James, hopefully talking about this cleared it up a little bit. But for raw power, the R1M, if you're going for heritage and just a bike to get around town, and also it's super fun on the track or on the twisties up there in Colorado on those mountain roads, you really can't go wrong with the Ducati either. So again, bud, it just depends on your budget and what you're looking for. But both bikes, in my opinion, are well worth every penny you're going to spend on it. And the good news is you'll have them for many years. I know these bikes right here, extremely reliable. Everybody gives Ducati a little bit of grief about their reliability, but quite frankly, I've had friends who have 10, 12,000 miles. Their Ducati's not even a problem. And for the V2s especially, these bikes have been pretty darn reliable. So I like the engine so far. It'll go in when it goes in for its first service to get the chain tightened, and also for the oil change. We'll see exactly what the bike looks like then, but as of right now, everything works great. And I am enjoying every second on that bike as I break it in. But I've always loved my R1M. And again, for the same price point, James, I don't think you can go wrong with either of these bikes. Hopefully this helps you, bud. I love you. God, if you guys need anything else, please feel free to comment below, and I'll do my best to make a video for you. But guys, again, thank you so much for the support. You guys know we just started this channel a couple weeks ago, and we're already approaching 1,500 subscribers. I would love to get to 100,000 this year. That's my goal. And I'm just gonna keep creating content for you guys to hopefully earn that particular subscription. But please like and follow. Appreciate you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful Monday, and I'll be back tomorrow with a new video. Peace.